And thank you for following the games all through. I would like to start this conference by congratulating Emma Terho of Finland, who has just been elected by her peers as the chair of the IOC Athletes Commission, and Mr. Seung-min Ryu, who has been elected vice chair of the Athletes Commission. In consultation with the outgoing IOC Athletes Commission chair, Kirsty Coventry, I have appointed rugby player Humphrey Kayange from Kenya to the IOC Athletes Commission in order to have a better geographical balance, because by having Kirsty Coventry leaving the Commission, we would otherwise have had no athlete from Africa in this Commission. The four elected members of the IOC Athletes Commission, Pau Gasol, Maya Vlovskosaya, Federica Pellegrini and Yuki Ota, will be proposed on a Sunday for election as IOC members with full voting rights. And the same applies to Astrid Urnholt Jacobsen, who replaces Kiken Rendell, and for Humphrey Kayange, about whom I just spoke. With regard to Tokyo 2020, allow me some general remarks at the beginning here of our discussion. After we had to accept the decision by the Japanese authorities to have no spectators, I must admit that we all, and I personally as well, of course, were concerned that these Olympic Games could become Olympic Games without a soul. But fortunately, what we have seen here is totally different, because the athletes gave these Olympic Games a great Olympic soul. What I experienced there in the Olympic Village and at the competition sites, I must say that the atmosphere has been more intense than ever before. There were among the athletes two dominant feelings. The first was you could experience and feel and see and hear how much they enjoyed to be together there again, how much they enjoyed to meet each other. And the other feeling which has been expressed in all the many conversations I had were that they are extremely grateful for the fact that the Olympic Games could happen now finally. And these feelings, this atmosphere was spreading from the Olympic Village to the competition venues, where you could see how they were supporting each other, how they were appreciating each other in all the venue. The reason for this, you can discuss. I've been thinking quite a lot about it. I've come to the conclusion that these two feelings of the togetherness and the gratefulness are coming from the fact that they have been separated for such a long time, not only from each other, but in many cases also from their families and loved ones. They did not have the regular contacts in competitions, in World Cups or World Championships or regional championships, you name it. And obviously they were missing this contact very much and were longing for being together again. And at the same time, they were living in great uncertainty because they did not know how their training would happen, whether it would happen, what would happen with their competitions. And I think this made them also very much appreciative, again, of the games taking place at all. But it was not only that the athletes gave these Olympic Games this Olympic soul, it was also that the sporting level was extremely, and I must say for me, surprisingly high. Because you all know what the athletes had to overcome in this last 16 months. If you do not know how to organize your training to peak at the right moment, whether if you cannot do your training, if you have to train at home, if you cannot train with a strong sparring partner, if you cannot train together with your team, if you don't have competition to see where you are in your preparations. All this for athletes, it's extremely challenging and extremely demanding. And that they managed nevertheless to come here and presenting this great sporting level. What you can see from the many very tight results and from the many also Olympic world records, personal bests which have been established here, there I can only say chapeau to all these athletes for the way how they have mastered this challenge. And this feeling and this performance is also true for the new sports we have seen here. The games were more youthful with these new sports. They were more urban. They were more gender balanced. They were bringing in new audiences, new communities, but they also created, in a way, new Olympians. Because what I can say from my many meetings with the athletes from these different new sports is that they are all now enthusiastic Olympians. If you ask them how is the life in the Olympic Village, how you experience these games, there you can feel, this enthusiasm for the Olympic spirit and the Olympic experience. In this way, these Olympic Games have been a powerful demonstration of the unifying power of sport. We have experienced this great solidarity amongst all the athletes and all the teams in the village and at the competition venues. And this shows that the overall solidarity approach of the IOC works. And this success of this solidarity approach taken by the IOC is also underlined by a record number of 88 NOCs who have won medals to date. That's a new Olympic record, and we still have 2.5 days to go. The Olympic solidarity programs and the scholarship programs, the Olympic scholarship programs, are another proof of this success. So we had here 836 athletes from 178 NOCs in 26 sports who benefited from Olympic solidarity scholarships. And until last night, these scholarships holders have won 23 gold, 25 silver, and 25 bronze medals. Given the political circumstances in this world under which these Olympic Games are taking place, and given the many political tensions, to say diplomatically, the political tensions we have in this world, there to see all these athletes living together in the Olympic village under one roof and competing at the same time fiercely with each other. I think this is a great manifestation of peace there, and how peace can be achieved if everybody is following the same rules and if everybody is living in solidarity with each other. So it has become clear there again that without solidarity there is no peace. And this feeling was obviously shared by the world, because billions of people around the globe were longing for such a unifying message of hope. This is what we can see in particular from the digital engagement already now. And what I'm saying there is not just a personal feeling, it's based on concrete data and figures, and you will be informed tomorrow then when we have an even more solid basis for all these figures tomorrow here in this room, I guess, about all the details. But what we can say already now that the virtual cheer map, where the people can really engage with the athletes and with the competitions and with the games, was an overwhelming success, because until yesterday again we had more than 250 million videos, more than 250 million cheers coming from every country, and supporting athletes from all 205 national Olympic committees and the IOC refugee Olympic team. One more figure maybe, the rest again I would like to leave to the experts tomorrow, but one more figure is that the IOC in Tokyo 2020 social posts have generated more than 4.7 billion engagements, video views, shares, likes in the year 2021, and the majority of them during the past 14 days. All these very positive things could only be achieved by having made these Olympic Games safe and secure, which was always our top priority. Also in this respect, I just want to give you some of the latest figures. We have passed already the mark of 600,000 tests during these games. There were 42,500 arrival tests who had a very low positivity rate of 0.08%. Then we had 571,000 screening tests, which had an even lower positivity rate of 0.02%. So therefore, I think it's fair to say that the Olympic community here in Tokyo has been the best tested community anywhere in the world during the last few weeks. And as a testimony to the success of all these measures, I can only refer to the remarks by the World Health Organization as the world leader on health, and I would like to thank WHO here expressively once more for all the advice they have given us over the last 2 years to make this successful program possible. Overall, I would also like to thank very much the people of Tokyo and Japan, the Japanese government, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, and of course the organizing committee, Tokyo 2020. All of them were great partners and were essential for the success of these Olympic Games. Of course, also the very strong performance of the Japanese athletes has contributed to this success, and I may say has contributed a lot to this success. And this we can conclude from how the Japanese people are supporting and embracing these Olympic Games. And there again, this is not a feeling. This is underlined and evidenced by the facts because as of today, 9 out of 10 Japanese people have watched at least parts of the Olympic Games to date. So with this, I'm looking forward to my visit to Sapporo, where I will go right after this press conference to be there for the marathon, then tomorrow, and to be back then tomorrow right after the marathon, and of course looking forward to the closing ceremony on Sunday evening. Again, there are still 2.5 days to go, but we will be as alert, as vigilant as we have been over all these days, and therefore I think we can look forward then to conclude these games on Sunday evening for the reasons given as a great success for Japan, but also for the IOC and for the entire world of sport, and given the reactions, I think for billions of people around the world who are taking these Olympic Games and the success of these Olympic Games as a great message of hope.
Thank you very much, President. Okay, we are ready to take some questions. Let's start with the gentleman just straight ahead of me there, and Wakato afterwards. Yeah, then we'll move around. Obviously, please introduce yourself, and then we'll know who you're from. Thank you very much.
東京新聞の原田と申します。バッハさんお願いします。先ほどバッハさんは競技が安全に開催されているということを誇っていましたけども、これは日本人がお金を出して安全体制を作っているということです。今回、1年延期に伴って27億ドルが、税金から支出されています。さらに、7億ドルのチケット収入がほとんど、無観客開催になったことにより失われます。大会は大赤字です。これも税金から負担されるでしょう。質問は、今のオリンピックのシステムは開催都市に財政的な負担があまりにも大きすぎると思います。バッハさんはこの東京大会から、何を学びましたか。今後将来のオリンピックに向けてもっと大会をコンパクトにするとか、アジェンダ2020のような小さな変革じゃなくて、もっと大きな大会の見直しが必要なんではないでしょうか。ご意見をお聞かせください。よろしくお願いします。
Thank you for your statement. Let me first of all say that the investment in the Olympic Games is fairly shared between the Olympic movement and the respective host country or host city. When you refer there to the investments being made, then you are including in these investments there the construction of new venues, of new sports venues and other venues, from which the Japanese people and the people of Tokyo will benefit for generations to come. If I can give only one example, is the Olympic Village. You cannot count the Olympic Village as a cost of the Olympic Games because after these Olympic Games, for decades to come, the Japanese people will benefit from these apartments, and they will offer housing to the people of Tokyo and to the people of Japan. And the same is true for sports facilities and other facilities more. With regard to the postponement of the Games, if the Games would have been cancelled at the time, if we would have cancelled the Games, we would have seen a situation where then for Japan, many of the investments would have been without any perspective of a revenue, because then nobody would have come to Tokyo, to Japan. There would have been no exposure, neither for Tokyo, nor for Japan, nor for the sponsors. And on the other hand, for the IOC, it would have been the easier solution, because we could have drawn then on an insurance we had at the time. So the IOC would have been saving money, because we decided not to draw on this insurance, but in the contrary, to invest even more to make the Games happen for the athletes, and have created an envelope of $800 million, for which we even had to take credit at the banks to make the Games happening. And this is the basis on which we agreed there then to postpone the Games and to continue to give the stage to the athletes, and to give the opportunity for Japan and Tokyo to shine, and to have this opportunity to show to billions of people around the world what the Japanese people are able to do, how they have been persevering, and how efficient they are working even under these circumstances.
Yes, Wakako, I think, wanted a question, yeah. And then Mark Montoyak.